As holidaymakers say their goodbyes to holiday destinations, the N3 toll concession is preparing for a significant increase in traffic on the main routes heading towards Gauteng. Now, officials attribute the challenges to the continuous major roadworks along the specific sections of the N3. For more on this now, we take you to our reporter Nonhlakanipho Magwaza, who's monitoring the situation there. So, Nonhlakanipho, what's the current traffic situation like on the N2 and N3 as holidaymakers make their way back to their various destinations?
So far, compared to earlier on, the traffic has dipped a bit. It's just a few cars that are going past. As you can see behind me, it's not as congested, it's not as bumper to bumper as it was earlier on. But the Department of Transport and the N3 toll concession did say that as the day progresses, more and more people will start making their way back to Joburg or back to Free State or through this toll gates and the Moy River and other N3 toll concession routes on the N3. On the N2 as well, I believe it's more or less the same. People are making their way inland and who are taking the Pongolo routes. They are also going to be making their way there. We did speak earlier on to the Department of Transport, who did say that they're anticipating more and more motorists tomorrow, as it's the final day of traveling, as most of them are going back to work on Monday. It did mention that the recent floods that happened did destroy some of the roads, especially in Ladysmith, where over 20 people passed away because of the floods. And they did warn motorists of the weather, the ever-changing weather here in KZN. But today it's very hot. Tomorrow it might be raining. I saw that it was partly clouded with some scattered rain showers. And the N3 toll concession did warn motorists as well about the misty conditions, especially if you go past the Hillcrest and the Moy Plaza, where it's usually misty around the early morning and the late evening. And they did caution motorists to do stop and rest if they feel tired. The Department of Transport is also conducting stop and search operations in all toll gates and in all major routes and the small routes inland, as they are searching for roadworthiness and if people have the correct papers, if they do have their licenses or learner's licenses, and if their cars are licensed and properly registered. He did say that throughout the period of the festive season, up until schools open on the 17th, they'll be conducting these operations, and just to curb motorists who are breaking the law. And he did say that there have been some arrests, and he mentioned also that although it is not as like the previous years, there have been some accidents where 2 or 3 people did pass away during those accidents. He didn't give the specific number of how many accidents there were or how many people died, but I believe that tomorrow, as they will continue, they'll be having a major stop and search operation happening, as more and more motorists are expected to make their way back home. Back to you in studio, Mko.
So, Nonhlakanipho, as we continue to have this conversation, I'm also keen on finding out on what are the motorists saying there on the ground. How have they received this multidisciplinary operation to ensure road safety?
The motorists that we spoke to did welcome the stop and search. They welcome the operations that have been going on, saying that police are right to do that so that the unroadworthy cars will be removed from the roads. And they did applaud the law enforcement team on arresting those who are driving and who are drinking or driving under the influence of alcohol, and those who are driving without proper licenses, and those who are driving with expired license discs. They did mention that they did enjoy their stay here in Durban, but they are now prepared mentally. But even though they're not looking forward to going back, they have to go back because they are going back to work on Monday.
And also, Nonhlakanipho, are there any conversations there to make road safety a 365-day-a-year thing? Because this is seemingly a conversation that we pick up whenever the roads are busy, and then we park it off and then we leave it for another point when the roads get busy again. Are there any conversations with the officials that you've engaged with there to make observing road safety a 365-day thing?
So far, all they are saying is that they're doing these operations up until the 17th, when the schools open here in the coastal areas here in KZN. They are mentioning that they did, or rather mention that they will carry out spontaneous search, stop and search procedures, and that police officers have been deployed in various areas of the province. If it will happen 365 days of the year, or just on major holidays like the festive season and the Easter holidays, that we'll have to ask the Department of Transport tomorrow when we see them again here at the Marion Hill Toll Plaza or at the Moy River, when they are carrying out the stop and search procedure operation again.